Even when I used to work out all the time, when I used to work out, when I used to work out.
I remember protein powder? Yeah, I used to have it. When I used to work out, I used to take protein powders.
I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day. Wow. Once in the morning, right after I work out, and then once right after lunch.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Hogan, drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
So that's what happened yesterday. And yesterday was a good day, overall, on the podcast. Then we jumped into the first stream yesterday, which was DSP Re-ACKS. And the show went well. Good variety of clips submitted. But during that show, the trolls showed up and gave 300 fake gifted memberships to DSP Re-ACKS. And yes, I'm going to call them fake, because they're not paid for. Alright? They're essentially stolen.
I know in my last video I said I might have to slow up on doing current events, but there I am, 4:30 in the goddamn morning, on my walk, listening to SnortHogan, big ups, and I hear this shit. And all I can think is,
just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
leave it to a narcissist to inflate his troubles. And to be clear, these are not stolen memberships. Are they trolling him? For sure. Does Phil have a point about it being a potential issue? Maybe. But I was taught a concept in my current position called I believe. There's also a quote which encapsulates the I believe idea, which says, don't attribute things to malice when incompetence is still an option. The I believe idea is where you ask yourself, do you think that the people who made this policy or idea had malice in their intent when they did it? And, of course, YouTube didn't, so what likely happened? This was a controlled risk. Hell, some intern probably brought this up, but not seeing an easy solution to it, YouTube said something to the effect of, who would be upset over someone donating a shit ton of subs no matter the currency, not realizing who Phil was or how unbelievably petty he is.
This is the equivalent of like going up to a vending machine,
Alexa, define false equivalency.
where the vending machine says a candy bar costs $1, and you found a way to put a penny into the machine and it still gives you the candy bar. You stole the candy bar.
If you're going to draw a comparison, do it accurately. It's going to a vending machine where the vending machine says, tell us what country you live in and we'll adjust the rate. The customer inputting Argentina and it charging the correct economic rate for the product. I mean, there's no way to actually draw a parallel to a vending machine, but try to tell that to Sandwich Shop Phil and his sister business, Phil's Vending Company.
You didn't buy it legit. You found an exploit to get the candy bar out of the machine. You didn't validly buy it. Okay? And that's what people are doing with these memberships. They're not validly buying them. They found an exploit, and YouTube won't plug the hole, per se. They won't plug the leak. They're too lazy to do it.
This is the same guy who was standing for the Indiana Jones devs just like 1 or 2 days ago, saying, why don't you go program third person if you want it so bad? Well, Phil, the same concept applies. Why don't you solve the problem for YouTube? Making sure you're following the laws in the country you're complaining about, and of course making sure there's no additional impact to some other country. Why does he always attribute something being wrong to laziness? Oh wait, that might be projection. But Phil, no one expected the worst human on the planet would find a niche in YouTube and rely on subs to live. No one had that on their bingo card. No one could have predicted how terrible you are. So cut YouTube some slack. They have to catch up to your lack of ethics and morals.
So, the word is illegitimate. Oh, there you go. Illegitimate memberships. I guess that's what we should call it, right? Okay, so...
See, this is where you're not getting it, Phil. While that would be the right word if it was in fact illegal or outside the law, which is the literal definition of the word, it's not. Although you're throwing around words like stole or stolen, the fact remains there is no law they have violated. So, I have to say...
Don't care, didn't ask, cry about it, stay mad, get real, L mold, seed cope.
Because they gifted 300 illegitimate memberships to the channel, this sadly destroys the way that show works.
And there was much rejoicing.
Alright, for those who don't know, the way the show works is, there's 3 levels of member on the DSP Re-ACKS channel. Standard, Super, and Ultra. Standard membership was $3.99 USD, Super was $9.99 USD, and Ultra was $20 USD. That's the levels and how they work. The difference in levels is thus. Standard member, you get to submit a clip for the show, 2 a week actually, 2 clips you get to submit a week. It goes into a randomized playlist. I just literally hit shuffle play, and we watch them in a randomized order every week, and I jump around that playlist as well, so you have a chance to get your clip watched, but it's not a guarantee.
And if you think Phil doesn't pre-screen those videos for detractor content, I have a bridge to sell you. Some beachfront property too. And let me tell you about Amway.
Okay? If you're a super member, you still have that ability to do the submission of a video, but you also get to ask me Q&A questions, and I answer them in kind of a lightning round style. I don't go into massive detail answering, but I try to do like a quick answer to each question. So it's like you get the video submission and you get a question answered every week. If you're the Ultra member, now this is the highest tier, and because of that, you guaranteed get your video clip watched on the show. So if you're doing, $20 a month, 4 videos a month you get watched, right? That's a good value.
I can't. I just can't, man. He sounds so much like a used car salesman here. $20 to get videos watched by Phil so he can fake laugh, bite his nails whenever a black person is on the screen, and cringe if anything sexual pops up. He has a wife, dude. Gas is around $2.50 where I live. Yes, be jealous. That's 8 fucking gallons of gas. Use money for that, or fucking McDonald's or movie tickets. Damn near anything would give you more value than what Phil is shilling.
So that's how it's always worked. This has worked for a year. No one has issue with this. It's like clockwork. We have about 100 members on that channel of various different levels. Every week we do a show. It's smooth. It works fine. We've got it down to a science. Now we're hitting the 1-year anniversary in February, and everything's good. And now people find this exploit and use it, and it's going to ruin the show.
And there was much rejoicing.
You can't have 400 people submitting clips, 300 of which didn't pay for it. It illegitimizes people who have paid and supported that channel for the year. Imagine you're a paid supporter of DSP Re-ACKS for a year, and every week you have a chance to get your clip watched, so some weeks it gets watched, some weeks it doesn't. And now it's this coming week, oh, do I get my clip watched? Oh, look, 400 people submitted clips, so now you have 0 chance to get your clip watched.
Apparently, Dingus Content here doesn't understand what he's saying. 100 members is no small task. I just hit 100 subs on my channel. Yes, that was a shameless self-plug. But by saying it's because I have 400 members, it's not fair, this means he never planned to have the channel grow in any way. He planned to just coast on those 100 members' money. No growth, no business plan, no maturity. Absolutely brilliant mind here, folks.
But you paid for it, and you actually paid way more than the people who got the gifted membership, so how is this fair? The answer is it's not. It actually makes it completely unfair. It's a broken system, and it's not right, and it shouldn't be like that.
No, Phil. I caught that. You said you actually paid way more than the people who got the gifted memberships. And if that's the case, then why aren't you mad about the other legitimate gifted memberships, as you call them? If you're going to be outraged that a member can submit a video without paying because they got a gifted membership, you should be outraged at your other people who were gifted prior to the Argentinian rate being discovered. Why the outrage now? Ah, yes, because you didn't get the money you think you deserve. All about you.
Okay? So we have to fix this system. Alright? And the question is, how do you fix it? Well, we're going to talk about that in a bit. Let me get through the whole schedule and all of that. Because this is going to be a segment we really need to dive deep into how to do this. Essentially, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cancel current membership tiers, which means I'm going to lose that support.
And there was much rejoicing.
Actually cancels memberships. People, have to start over, and I have to create new tiers. But what we have to figure out is how those tiers are going to work properly so that it's fair to everybody. All right, we have to make it so that if someone gifts one of these stupid illegitimate memberships, it goes to a tier that doesn't affect the show, and then we have a tier that's for the show, that people get all the things that they've paid for and more. Because the thing is, I have to increase the cost to make new tiers. I'll explain all of this, all right? Because it's complicated. YouTube's system is so convoluted and stupid in the way that it works that I now have to adjust pricing and everything to get this to work properly and give people what they've earned by supporting the channel. All right?
I love this idea because no one is going to gift memberships to the low tier anymore. Not when the whole point of memberships is to submit videos to Phil. So he's going to see a marked drop-off in support. I really hope he puts the members back up the counter so we can see how pathetically low his actual member count is.
Okay. Anyway, so DSP Re-ACKS went well. And then I think we should figure out this DSP Re-ACKS situation. Because it's actually bothering me. Like, it's in the back of my head. Man, by now, I normally would have posted up the threads by which channel members can nominate clips for next week. And I can't do that because the show's all screwed up now because of this membership exploit. Okay? So I want to explain to you how to fix it, but we need to brainstorm how exactly it's going to work, all right? So allow me to explain right now how DSP versus the internet works. And let me explain how my proposed fix will work. But then we got to figure out exactly how to implement it, okay? Does that sound good? Okay. There's someone in the chat who literally is having a discussion with themselves. It's pretty funny. All I have to do is read one sentence. Just change your goals from subs to just plain dollar amount. Problem solved. Change my goals. I look down at my screen. Do you see any goals? There's a tips goal. Do you see any other goal? Do you see any sub goal? What is this guy talking about? He's like talking to himself. I swear. Every day is a new adventure on the internet for me. It's like, what is going on? This guy's been going on for 20 minutes talking to himself in my chat, and no one knows what he's talking about. And he's like, change your goals on your stream. I looked down like, goal? What is he even talking about? Anyway, let's exercise the demons. You got the holy water? Ah! All right. I cast you out. I cast you out. All right, here we go.
Grandpa Phil, I hate to tell you this. You aren't funny. Cringe-inducing? Absolutely. Funny? No. Well, okay, I'll put it like this. You're funny like Michael from The Office is funny. But as most of us know, Michael is only funny because he's an incompetent buffoon who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. So, you're funny like Michael. It's just, you're not acting. Which, yeesh.
Let's start now talking about DSP Re-ACKS. Okay. So, DSP Re-ACKS is a show I do once a week. It's a React show over on my React channel where basically people submit clips and I watch them back.
We're going to ramp up speed here because he's about to go over the exact same thing that he went over for the last, 8 to 10 minutes? Like, almost verbatim.
Ultra members who pay the most amount, it's like $20 a month, get their clips watched every week. So for $20, you get to submit 4 clips that all get watched on the show over the course of a month. That's pretty good. For like $5 a week, it's a guarantee of a video every single week, right? That's pretty darn good. And that's fine, and that's not going to change. The problem is, because now we have people having these illegitimate ways of granting memberships to hundreds of people, the show is kind of ruined in the current format, because the current format is, for $3.99 you become a standard member, and you have the ability to submit a video, or 2 videos I should say, a week, that goes into a thread. I take that thread and I make a playlist of videos out of it, and I literally hit shuffle play. And that's how we watch videos on the show. And that determines the order and everything, and we watch randomized videos. You never know what you're going to see on that show. It works. People like the show. I like the show. But the problem now is if hundreds and hundreds of people have these memberships and didn't pay for them, it ruins that format. Too many people submitting videos, and it's not fair to those who paid legitimately. So we can't do it that way anymore. We have to fix it, okay?
All right, bringing it back down from 150% to 120%.
Now, currently, there is a super member level. It's $10 a month. The benefit is you get to submit clips for the show as if you're a standard member, but you also get to ask a question in a thread for Q&A. And what I do is out of all the show, like when I hit like part 5, which is like hour 3 of the show, I take that first segment of part 5 and I answer the Q&A questions from super members. To be clear, I have 2 super members on DSP Re-ACKS. That's it. 2. Out of the 100 people that are members, 2 are super members.
A normal person would take that data and likely think about themselves, saying, am I so predictable, unlikable, annoying, or otherwise horrible that no one wants to ask me anything? And I'm guessing what DSP thinks is, well, it's the trolls who have given me a bad name. They should all get fucked.
So this isn't a giant concern, alright? But there's some people who are currently paying $10 to get video submissions and these Q&A questions. And every week we get at least the 1 or 2 people who take advantage of the Q&A questions, okay? Now, here's the problem, alright? Because of these fake gifted memberships, we can't keep these tiers anymore. It doesn't work. We can't have 400 people submitting clips. People who've played various different amounts for it. That's not fair. Everyone should be on the same playing field when it comes to video submissions, alright?
Again, then why did you previously allow gifted membership owners to submit videos, Phil? What changed? Ah, yes again. You didn't get paid. Because you're the main character and that's all that matters. By the way, I don't remember if it's this stream. If it is, I'll call it out. But there is a stream recently where Phil goes on some kind of tangent and then says something to the effect of, yes, but it's my stream. And then rants about how because he's this omnipotent god of this domain, he will act as he pleases. And it's just horrible. Sorry to go off on a side tangent here, but it just popped in my head.
So what we need to do is we need to make it so that to submit a video, it's not a gifted membership. That's what we need to do. It's the only way to fix the problem. I wish I could fix the pricing. I wish I could fix the loophole that is created on YouTube. I can't do that. I also can't change the price of memberships. What the standard and super levels that are there, I can't change the pricing. YouTube does not allow you to change the price on the fly at all. You have to actually cancel the entire membership level, meaning anyone who's in that level, you'll lose all that income.
I think he meant to say they lose all those benefits, but since he was thinking about himself, surprise, surprise, he said they lose all that income. And, well, he did talk about losing income, so...
And there was much rejoicing.
YouTube removes it, alright? And then you have to make a whole new level, and then you have to have people come in and redo their memberships, right? So right off the bat, I can tell you this is a big undertaking, because I have to have people pay attention to the fact that I have to cancel the tiers and then resubscribe to a new tier of membership. A lot of people probably won't even do that right off the bat, so immediately this is going to result in lost income for me.
And there was much rejoicing.
Is that fair? No, I didn't do anything wrong. Someone found an exploit on YouTube and won't stop using it. I can't stop the exploit, so now I lose income.
And there was much rejoicing.
It's bullshit. Alright, it is. It's complete bullshit, and it shouldn't be allowed, but what can I do? I can sit here, and I can whine, and cry, and stamp my feet like a baby, and say, wah, 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 and I just did. But now I got it out of my system.
This may go down as the most honest moment for DSP in 2024. Minus that last, I got it out of my system part. It was a really good encapsulation of how I personally see Phil. Bravo.
And now it's like, what can I do? I gotta move on positively, right? So, I will move on positively and say, we're just going to try to fix this now, alright? Now, admittedly, what this means is since we're going to create new tiers, the lower tier is going to be for people who use this exploit and gift these memberships, and they will not be able to submit videos, alright? So, essentially, what I want to do is make a tier that's just like base tier or standard tier, and all that tier is you get emotes, and you get your chat crown badge, and that's it. You don't get anything else. It's just the basest level, entry level.
So I was gifted a membership to That Being Said podcast, big ups to my donor. So I went and I checked. If you get a gifted membership, you have to know to go into that membership and upgrade that membership to get the perk that Phil is talking about where you can submit a video. Now, maybe I'm a little bit boomerish because it wasn't the most fun or easy thing for me to do. It took me at least 5 clicks to figure out where I needed to go, and I gotta say, I don't see people upgrading their membership to the React channel. It's not intuitive.
And if they want to gift that one till the cows come home, give me 50,000 subscriptions or whatever, or 50,000 memberships over there worth $0, they could do that. I don't care. It won't affect anything, okay?
It just dawned on me we're unlocking a new Begment. Achievement unlocked. The please upgrade your memberships, guys, Begment.
What I need to do is I need to make a new tier of membership where people can submit videos, but, and here's the catch, this is what really, really sucks. The cost of the tier of membership has to be above $5. Why? Because that's how YouTube set it up. The way YouTube is set up, gifted memberships always gift the highest tier of membership up to $5. Yeah. So if I were to make a lower tier membership that's like $1 or $2, and then I had a tier that was $4, which is currently what the standard is now, and someone gifted, it would gift the standard membership, and it would screw the whole channel up again. And there'd be no point to me redoing this. And there's nothing I can do about that. At all. Okay? That's just how YouTube works. The gifted memberships gift the highest possible membership up to $5. So my membership has to be above $5 to fix it. Alright? There's another problem. YouTube doesn't let you do custom pricing for memberships. Their memberships are priced as follows.
So I pre-listened to this morning so I know what's coming, and we can play a game of who does it better. From me. Their pricing is as follows. It starts at 99 cents and goes up by $1 from there. So $1.99 to $2.99 and so on. Here's how Phil explains it.
$1.99, $2.99, $3.99, $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, $8.99, $9.99, $10.99, yada, 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 yada. That's how it works.
That's a mature adult with a business degree, everyone.
You can't just type it in and say, I want it to be $5.01. It doesn't work. You have to go by their pre-established pricing model. Alright? So basically, right now, to fix DSP Re-ACKS, the Ultra members stay exactly the same. Okay? I have to cancel the standard and the super tiers, so they won't even exist anymore. I have to create 2 new tiers. One would be considered standard, And I think the next one I'm going to call is submission tier. And I'm going to do it as cheap as I possibly can. So whatever that standard is, I don't even know what it'll be, $1, $2, whatever the lowest is I can make it, I'm going to make it the lowest amount. And then submission tier will be the lowest possible, which according to YouTube's criteria would be $5.99 to avoid that tier being gifted out. Okay? Now, there will no longer be a super tier. I'm just eliminating that tier entirely. Alright? But what that means is that if you now are going to be a submission tier member on DSP Re-ACKS, first of all, yes, you still get to submit 2 clips a week for the show, so that's not going to change in any way. But you will also be able to put a question in for the Q&A, alright? But here's the problem with that now, alright? Here's the real problem. This is going to upset me. This is going to screw up the Q&A now. Because the way the Q&A has always worked, alright, is basically that if you post up your question, I answer it. Like, guaranteed. Because we didn't get that many. You know, I get like a couple a week. So that's...
I'm wondering if his concern is detractor questions or special mind questions, or if it's that no one will care to ask questions. Irrespective, I don't think you have to worry about anything, Phil. You're going to get your 10 members, they'll ask, and your Q&A will go fairly quickly. So, no worries there.
Say, okay, it's time for Q&A, and we'd rattle through Q&A, and we'd answer like 4 or 5 questions within like 10 minutes, and we'd be right back to videos. But now, if everyone who is at this submission level tier is going to be submitting questions, I could potentially end up with a ton of questions.
Big ups to Never Ending for clowning on Phil here, because I wholeheartedly agree.
And how do I answer them all when I also need to do as much reacting to videos as possible, right? So there's a few things that I thought about. I mean, number one would be, one entire part of the show is dedicated to Q&A. So instead of just doing 10 minutes, 30 minutes of the show is dedicated to Q&A. So I do like lightning round questions for 30 minutes to answer everybody's questions, right? But even then, that might not work, all right? I might not have enough time. The other thing would be, do like I do with the clips. It's random. So I'll make a thread for clips, and I'll make a thread for questions. And basically, most of the show is clips, but one segment of the show is questions, and I just random select questions. So you have a chance to get your question answered on the show. It's not a guarantee, but a chance.
And if you think those questions won't be pre-screened by the pig roach, I have a bridge to sell you in New York, and I've already done this bit, but you get my point.
And in that way, it's kind of equal to what we're doing right now, all right? And basically, I don't think it's going to be great no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, there's no good solution here. No matter what, it's an unfair solution because people who've been paying $3.99 a month now have to increase to $5.99 to submit clips. I don't want to do that, but I have to. I literally have to do that to fix the problem. Do you understand? And by the way, someone had a solution that doesn't work. Someone would say, make the submission tier lower than the standard tier. That way, if the submission tier, everyone can submit clips, but the standard tier is the one that's gifted. That's not how it works on YouTube. It's tiered access. So if there's a tier that's above the lowest, they get all of the perks under plus that.
So I get what the person is saying. If the membership is $3.99, then that's the high one. That'll be the one that gets gifted. Cool. What they're saying is make a $2.99 tier where at the $2.99 tier, you get to do submissions. And that way the $3.99 tier doesn't get to do it. Now Phil says he can't do that because whatever is above a tier gets everything below it. But aren't they submitting these videos by like email, or is there something in YouTube that unlocks to allow them to submit? Because if there's not, he could easily do this. He could explain it in the free text that he has to type in to explain the tiers. This seems doable to me. And if it's not, that's fine. I'll be wrong. It happens sometimes. But if I'm right, he just doesn't want to cut back the money because he's a greedy pig.
So a gifted membership would still be able to submit clips, and I can't stop that. Like, there's no way to actually stop that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. That sounds very technical. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. All right, let me put it this way. An Ultra member has access to everything under them plus the Ultra member perk. You see what I'm saying? So if I made a $4.99 standard member, and that's the one that gets gifted, and then I made a $2.99 submission tier, the gifted tier would still be able to submit clips, and I can't stop that. It gets everything under it. So I can't do it that way. I know what you're saying. You're thinking, oh, you know, fix this. I can't fix it. There's no way I can do it that way. It's screwed up. I have to have it so that we have kind of this low-end dummy tier that absorbs the gifted memberships, but has no other access to any other perks. And then we have to have the tier to submit clips above that, above $5, so it can't get gifted. That's the only way to fix this. Okay? HoboX says, why cancel any existing tiers and not just add the submission tier as the 4th and let people move over for the first month? Because if I don't cancel the tiers, that's not fair. If let's say someone right now is subscribed at $3.99 and they're not even paying attention to any of this, and now all of a sudden I take away their access to submit clips, but they're still paying $3.99. They'll be like, I paid for my subscription, I didn't get what I was agreed to. They agreed to pay $3.99 a month to be able to submit clips. And if I take that away, I've basically kind of violated what I promised. You understand? It's like a violation of the agreement that we had.
This is Phil trying to white knight. It's not a violation. You announce it on your community tab as to when it's going to happen, then you do it, and if people bitch, you point them to the community tab. I'm actually surprised he doesn't do this. It's the lazier way. I'm guessing he's doing it to try and stick it to those who gifted the Argentinian memberships.
And it's not fair to them, especially those who have recurring memberships, who may pay that, right? And now not know they can't submit clips, and they go to do it and they can't do it. That's not fair. Oh, by the way, if you want the same exact features you already had, you have to pay extra. That doesn't make sense, right? So, here's the thing. If I cancel all the tiers, and I make it like a small dummy tier at like $1 or $2, and that's the gifted one, and it doesn't really have anything but emotes, and then we have another tier that's the one where you can submit clips, but you can also do the Q&A, I'm adding value. You see? Instead of, you used to pay $3.99 just to submit clips. Well, now there's no longer a $3.99 tier, but there's a $5.99 tier where you can submit clips and ask questions. So there's added value, okay?
The guy here is talking like he's adding a fucking spray-in bed liner to a truck. I mean, good for him on adding value, but it's such a nothing burger of a perk. And as I understand it, there's a Patreon he has where if you buy the certain tier, you get to Ask the King. But that segment, Ask the King, has been dead for God knows how long. So why aren't you concerned with that value, Phil?
Eternal Napalm, I have no idea what that means. Eternal Napalm says, ChatGPT says, have a time duration rule to mitigate spamming of subs. I don't even know what that means. What is a time duration rule? Right? I don't know. So anyway, the problem... By the way, G-Eternal says cancel Q&A. If I cancel Q&A, now I have no added value for people who are going from $3.99 to $5.99. I'd be saying, hey, you want to continue to submit clips? Pay me more money for the same thing. That's not right.
Yeah, that kind of threat or bullshit is reserved for DSP Gaming. Come on, you dents should know this.
The members of DSP Re-ACKS have done nothing wrong. At all. Why am I going to punish them and make them pay more money to get the same access that they have right now? That's ridiculously unfair, and I feel it's immoral. I'm not going to charge them more money for the same. That's bullshit. I'm not fucking Netflix, alright? I'm not just going to raise my price arbitrarily and put that cost onto the viewer because some fucking troll is trying to ruin it for everybody. I'm not a giant megala corporation who does immoral shit. I'm a nice guy.
A few things here. One, no, you are not a nice guy. You are by far and away one of the biggest twat waffles I can think of. Two, megalomaniac is someone who is obsessed with their own power. A mega corporation is your Netflix or Walmart. Your bleeding words that describe you into your daily vocabulary. You gotta watch that, Phil. 3, Netflix, while assholish for raising their prices over and over, they provide a service that millions want. They may know their shit a little bit better than you, Phil.
Okay? So I'm not going to do that. If I'm going to raise the price, then I'm going to have an added value. Okay? But this is the question. If I do this, right, and I do the added value, right, how do we do the questions? Because, I mean, what I got to figure out is, do we have a dedicated segment of the show where I literally just answer questions and everyone gets their question answered? Do I do it randomized like I do right now with the clips where we have, okay, here's the thread, post up your question, and then on each show I'll just pick random questions and we'll answer them for like 20 minutes. And you're lucky if you get in or not, because I did random select or whatever, right? This is what we got to figure out. Okay? This is what we got to figure out. No, we're not going to start doing video length limits and stuff like that. That's too complicated. Imagine now, every clip submitted, I got to sort by length, and then I have to do this, and I'll be doing 10 hours of work for a react show that's 3 hours. You know, that's too much work. It has to be a show that's easy to do, or else there's no point in doing it, you know?
And here it is. The moment I stopped walking this morning, I took off my gloves, I got my phone out of my coat, and I replayed that shit. quote, "It has to be a show that's easy to do or else there's no point in doing it," end quote. Mr. Workhorse over here. Mr. "You guys don't know how busy I am." Mr. "I barely get to see my wife." He can't be bothered to do work, you see. I'm honestly surprised he didn't say if he had someone to sort it for him the way he abuses dent labor. Like, what a scummy fuck. Trying to find the easiest way, but claiming to increase value. Others have said it, but this really exemplifies the forever at level 1. Quit fucked, Phil. Get a fucking job.
Oh yeah, see, Eternal Napalm, sadly I can't do that. He says, what Chat GPT AI is recommending, don't let people who get gifted memberships participate until their second month. Can't do that on YouTube. The moment you become a member, you have access, and there's no way to time it so that you have to be a member for a certain length to get more access. That doesn't work on YouTube. Nope. I wish it did. That would be great. Actually, that would be a solution, because anyone who's only 1 month doesn't get access would actually solve the gifted issue, but you can't do that on YouTube. Nope. So, yeah, I think what the solution here is cancel the standard memberships, cancel the super memberships. They no longer will exist, and I'm going to lose all that support immediately, and there's nothing I can do about that. Create...
And there was much rejoicing.
2 new tiers. One will just be the entry tier, which is, I mean, that's what I'll call it, entry tier. And it'll be like $1 or $2, and all you get is access to the emotes and the chat crown badge. That's it, okay? Then there's the the new standard tier, or the submissions tier. Maybe I'll call it submissions tier, right? And that'll be $5.99. And that tier will be, you know, immune to the gifted, so it can't be gifted. You get to submit 2 clips a week for the show into the randomized playlist, and you get to submit questions for the Q&A into another thread, and basically, it's random select clips and questions. So now, you get added value. You have a chance not only to get your clip watched, but also to get your question answered during the Q&A segment, so there's added value, and it makes sense to pay a little bit more for it. The problem is, I guarantee you, like with any change, I'm going to go from 100 members down to like 20. I guarantee it. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. This is what's going to happen, and I'm going to lose a lot of income this month.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yes, Phil, you're going to go down to the level that you are pretending you're not at. You're going to have to face the fact that you have a handful of people holding you up. You're going to have to face the fact that you are, in fact, a piece of shit. And I'm so glad I'm here for it.
I'm already down on income because ad revenue is terrible in January, so I'm already down. And then on top of that, I've lost a ton of membership income on this channel because people who normally would have become members or re-upped their memberships didn't do that because they got gifted memberships this month that were free. So I'm already down on a ton of income because of all this shit.
And there was much rejoicing.
You know? And it's bullshit and it's not fair.
Don't care, didn't ask, cry about it, stay mad, get real, L mold seed cope.
But what can I do? I guess I just gotta tough it out, and I have to hope that this next month goes really well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to hope that in the next, between now and the end of the month, so we got, what, like 9 days left, that goes well, that the new releases on Friday perform well, people show up, they support those streams. I have to hope that, you know, things in February go well with tips and the like, or else I'm gonna be screwed.
Yes, Phil, because hope is not a plan. You squander all your income, and finally, consequences are looming. You're having to take a hard look at how you've been spending, what happens when the well dries up, and how absolutely fucked you are because of how horrible you've been. And it is amazing.
And it's not my fault. What did I do wrong? Right now, it shows on YouTube my views are actually higher this month than they were in December. My engagement is better this month than it was in December. And I've got other new channels that are successful. Throwback is doing good. But I'm doing poorly because of this bullshit, right? That's really fair.
Don't care, didn't ask, cry about it, stay mad, get real, L mold seed cope.
So, that's life. And again, I tell you guys this for a reason. I want you to know what's going on. I'm a transparent guy. I don't want people shocked that things are changing and stuff. I'm not going to just change stuff without discussing it with you, right? I just want to let it be known. Listen to me. I don't want to change DSP Re-ACKS. I like it as it is. It's this nonsense with this exploit and the trolls that are making me do this. I don't like having to fucking change stuff because of it, but I have to. It's only fair, or else there's no value to being a member over there if everyone just gets one for free and now no one has a fair chance to get their clip watched, right?
But remember, folks, the trolls, they're not going to have any impact on his business. We'll go away soon. Yeah, how's that working out for you, Phil?
So I just have to do it. I think what I'm going to do, later tonight, I'm going to have to make a video to explain this, and I'm going to upload it to DSP Re-ACKS and make it the featured video, and I have to cancel those membership tiers, and I have to make new ones, and then I have to hope people will become members on the new tiers. And if they don't, I'm fucked. Because like I told you guys, that channel is viable because of the members. Literally, that's it. If I didn't have the member support I had, I would not be able to use that channel. I don't make a lot of ad revenue on it because those videos all get claimed. So I make almost no ad revenue on the channel. When I stream, I barely get any income on the streams either. It's really based on the membership revenue. If the membership revenue now is halved or less, there's no point in doing the channel anymore. And I don't want that to happen. I like that channel. I like that show. I want to continue doing it. I don't want my React channel to fail because some fuckface found an exploit on YouTube and ruined it.
But Phil, earlier you said you only had about 100 members. At $3.99, even if you get all the revenue, that's only $399 a month. You said you get no ad revenue. You said you get minimal tips. So are you saying your budget is so tight that you can't afford to do something that you say you like to do just for fun? I'm not buying it, man. You could do it. You just won't, because you won't do things for free.
Okay? So, what can you do, right? What can you do? That's life, I guess. So, yeah, I'm glad we talked about it. I hope we agree this makes sense, right? People in chat are saying, yes, it makes sense. It's fair. But again, you don't know how people are going to react. That's the problem. Whenever there's a change like this, typically, people don't react well. They're pissed. You know, they'll be like, why? Why this change? You know? All I can do is explain it and hope that people understand. I know people don't want to pay more, but what can I do? All I can do is say, hey, I'm sorry, it's not my fault, but that doesn't really change the fact that, yeah, you have to pay more for the same ability to submit clips for the show because someone broke YouTube, right? Pretty messed up. Alright. Anyway, so, yeah, this is weighing heavily on me. I don't want this channel to fail, right? Exactly, there's no crystal ball on outcome. That's actually, I like that. There's no crystal ball on the outcome. I like how 104 Casper termed it. Right, there's no way for me to magically predict if this is going to work or not. This could work well, and the majority of people who are members will understand and come and become a new tier level member and be able to submit clips and no problem. Or it could be the flip side of that, where I do it and no one becomes a new member, and now the whole channel fails, right?
I know you didn't ask for my opinion, Phil, but I'm going to give it anyway. I'm really hoping for the latter. I truly hope all of your endeavors fail.
And I will outright apologize to anyone on that channel who has had a gifted membership and has been able to submit clips, and now you won't be able to anymore. That's not my intention at all. But that's just the only solution. When someone can literally buy infinite memberships for negligible cost, right? If someone could take a $5 bill and slap it down on a table and buy like thousands of gifted memberships, you can see the problem, right? That would ruin any channel where the membership has access to something, you know?
I'm guessing it wouldn't, because the channel actually has value, or they've diversified their income stream, or they have savings, or the channel is a hobby and they have a full-time job. Hey, that's like me.
No, it's no longer exclusive priority access to anything. It just makes it common access, right? So there you go. When will I be changing it? Likely tonight or tomorrow. Reason being, I have to do it soon because people need time to post up their clips for next week's show. If people don't become the new members levels and then post up clips for next week's show, there's no show for Sunday, you see? And we're about to hit episode 49. We're about to almost hit the 50 episode anniversary of the show. The 1 year anniversary. And now I have to make changes to make the show work because of these assholes. It sucks, right? So there you go. How dumb. Anyway. So we're probably gonna do it. What else can we do? And go from there, right? So there you have it. Let's see what happens. I'm probably gonna do it either later tonight or tomorrow. And I hope it makes sense. Like I said, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put out a special video tonight on DSP Re-ACKS to explain the fact that this has to change and why, and to apologize because this is fucked up that I have to do it. Right? But what are you gonna do? It's life, and go from there, right? Okay. Alright, guys. So, it just sucks. I don't like ending it like that. I really don't. I don't like ending it like that at all. But I have to, right? Alright. Well, let's move on. As disappointing as it is to move on like that, we have to move on, right? Let's get to shout-outs for the show today, okay? First of all, Danny the DK, 5 months as a member here on the channel, says, I fully understand. It sucks this happened to you. Well, thank you for understanding and acknowledging that. It's life, right? I mean, the good news is, thank God it's not all the eggs in one basket. It's not, right? That's good. But at the same time, I don't want to see the whole idea of a React show I did for a year fail now because someone broke the system, you know? It doesn't really affect DSP Gaming that much. It doesn't affect DSP Throwback, but any channel where these member tiers affect content, it's potentially awful, right? And nothing much can be done about that, so...
Remember back when Phil said React content was the lowest form of content because it wasn't actual work, and now he doesn't want to see his channel die? It is truly amazing to watch the guy dance and squirm his way out of anything he says or does by claiming context or whatever buzzword he's using that day. Anyway, that's it for today. I couldn't believe my ears this morning, so I had to get this out. As always, thank you to SnortHogan for the clip. I appreciate you so much, and big thanks to you for watching these videos. It's a huge deal for me. Thank you. Thank you. I still can't believe I've hit 100 members, and I hope I can look back on this video in time with fondness for my first real mark of growth. Till next time, swole is the goal for a troll. Lift heavy, eat clean. And Phil, get a job.